All right, so this is going to be a side lunge slash Cossack squat with a little bit of a rotation. So you're going to be doing 2-in-1. You're going to be working on SI joint stability and any kind of sort of hip imbalance you might be incurring. And at the same time, we're going to be working on our trunk rotation, potentially with that trunk rotation problem you might be having, whether you're squatting or deadlifting and you're noticing you're caving into one side or the other. A couple muscles that are involved, right, in the posterior and also in the anterior slash side. Things like your obliques, some of your lower spinal stabilizers as well. So this one, you're going to start off with your typical like Cossack slash side lunge, whatever exercise you prefer to do. You can kind of just practice a couple reps to see where the range of motion is. Once you gauge that, you can get a ball, a medicine ball, or even a slam ball that's anywhere between 5, 10, 15 to 20 pounds. Strongly recommend you don't go above 20 pounds just because there's really no need for you to do that if you're working the muscles correctly. You're gonna grab your ball, you're gonna give it a little bit of a hug, right? Basically where I like to place it is right in my sternum where the xiphoid is. It's nice and comfortable, I can hug it and I can kind of sort of focus on bearing down, I guess you can say, and keeping my rib cage stacked as if I'm bracing for a squat or a deadlift. You're gonna start off with the side where you're typically experiencing the joint pain or the SI pain on usually when you're squatting or deadlifting, right? One foot's gonna point out, the other foot's gonna be turned in. All right, you're gonna gauge your lunge. So you're gonna do a slight squat down. So not to full depth, but just, I wanna say maybe about like 10 to 15%. You're gonna brace. When you brace, you're going to give the ball a big hug. You're going to lean over, right? And you're gonna right away feel, you're gonna wanna cave in. You're gonna fight that rotation, right? Glutes are gonna burn, that's okay. And what you're gonna do now is turn counter. Right, so if you notice, I'm not leaning away. The axis is going straight through my head. I'm leaned. Slight turn, right to where you feel like you're stuck. You're gonna hold that. Now on the press up, you're gonna go ahead and come out of your lunge and come straight. Again, as you lunge down, and press away. Right, so the entire time, you're fighting your hip from being up or too low. You're keeping it nice and neutral, meaning your center of mass needs to be directly over your feet. Both toes need to be in contact with the ground. Mindful of this leg, making sure that it stays perpendicular, right? And you're gonna repeat it on the other side. So same thing, hug the ball, change foot position, right? The first rep, I always recommend you just do your lunge first, and then you brace, bend forward, rotate in, and then come out. Again. Right, very simple. It's like a little bit of a different take on your elephant walk, where it's a really great oscillation for that area, but now you're gonna add in a little bit of a strengthening component, a little bit of a rotational component, incorporating a lot more muscles and getting you strong. This is a little bit more of an advanced movement, so if you wanted to just start off by being in a wide stance sumo stance and just practice bending and rotating, that's fine. If you wanna just practice with a loaded partial Cossack or a partial lateral lunge, that's fine as well. Once you get those two individual movements down, you can go ahead and combine it into one, and you will feel your obliques light up. You'll also feel your glutes light up. Primes you for a good squat session or for a good deadlift session.